So today we're going to talk about the top 4 times that you should be focusing on trading. And ultimately, I don't care if you're new, intermediate, or even kind of branching out into new styles. These are the 4 times a year you need to focus and really get aggressive. Hey everyone, before we get started, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified as soon as we drop a new video. We put out tons and tons of content, including live stuff every single day. The best way to not miss a new video, especially one of those topical live videos, is to ring that bell and be notified as soon as we start. So, all right, let's get started. I am lead trainer with Stocks to Trade, Tim Bowen. Today we're going to be talking about earnings season. And let me start out a little bit by explaining what it is, then why you care, and then ultimately how to trade it. So, what is earnings season? Every quarter, every quarter, 4 quarters in a year, obviously, there is a time of, roughly 4 to 6 weeks where the majority of the companies announce their quarterly statements, their profit and loss, their earnings, as we call it, okay? They're required by the SEC as publicly traded companies to do this. So it's something that you can plan for. And again, it happens on a regular interval. You can bring up your earnings calendars. You can look for stocks that are announcing earnings. And then that is that time to really, really focus, because some of the biggest, most predictable moves happen during earnings season. And if you watch these videos, I'm infatuated with story stocks. It's always been true. But especially as we've gotten into this post-2016 and then 2020 world where I like to say everyone's a trader these days. I mean, like literally everyone is either actively trading or considering trading or curious about it or talking trading. And people gravitate towards stories. I mean, if there is if everyone, just an analogy that came to mind. I mean, it's like TikTok isn't publicly traded, but I mean, it's like if it was, it would be like the hottest stock out there because everyone's, TikTok. I mean, it's like you can't go anywhere. I mean, you go on Instagram, it's all TikTok. You go on Twitter, it's all, so it's like the hottest social media network out there. It's on the top of everyone's mind. So the more people hear about it, the more likely they are to buy the stock, and which ultimately pushes the stock up over time. And that's where you get that steadily uptrending chart. So what's great about story stocks during earnings season is now you've got institutions, big investors, and the media covering them. So I've got Dick's Sporting Goods on screen. This is just a great example from yesterday. I mean, they announced earnings, opened at 90, closed at 100. I mean, it was just a great, steadily uptrending again today. The stock probably continues the trend because many things. Number one is a beautiful breakout chart. They crushed earnings, coming out of the pandemic. They had great sales. They had great profits, P&L. Because remember, earnings is what we look at in the day trading community. We're looking at particularly sales and earnings per share. We want to see growing sales and growing earnings. And Dick's Sports had exactly that. I keep calling this, I call it like a return to normal play. I mean, I'm recording in May, late May 2021. And, you think about the potential growth for Dick's going into the summer. I mean, how many people are looking to get out camping again? Getting out fishing again, getting out in the outdoors, buying the golf clubs, softball leagues, soccer leagues. I mean, and then even as you go into the fall, I mean, I'm guessing where you were, but like with me, last fall, a lot of the sports weren't playing or limited schedules. I hope. It feels like this fall we're going to be all back. I mean, that's uniform sales, that's gear sales, football cleats and volleyball uniforms. I mean, just all this stuff that Dick's sells on top of, again, that outdoor gear, that camping gear, the tent, the cooler, the kayak, the bike. I mean, all that stuff you can get at Dick's. That's why they blew out earnings. That's why it's a story stock. That's why it's a return to normal stock. And that's why I think there's anticipation of this going up all the way through the summer into next earnings season. Now, keep in mind, it's not about picks here, okay? I'm not saying, buy dicks or trade dicks. That's not at all what I'm pointing at saying. What I'm trying to do is get you in that mindset of what we look for earnings winner stocks. And that story is that. That's why I went through so many points that make dicks a great summer play. So that being said, that's what an earnings winner is. We're just looking for good data, higher sales, higher earnings, story, etc. Then how do you actually trade them? That's the next big question. Remember, we never, ever, ever, ever buy in anticipation of earnings, okay? When I talk about an earnings winner, that is a stock that gaps up and runs after earnings, okay? If you buy before earnings, the day before, week before, you're just, the odds aren't in your favor. Something we're trying to do here is join the trend and join the crowd. Don't play guessing games. Because ultimately, Dick's, at the end of the day, could have announced terrible earnings. And if I had bought the night before and earnings are terrible, I get destroyed, I get stopped out, I take a big loss because I was playing a guessing game. I could still have the same thesis, but I don't have any sort of insight into what the numbers are going to be announced. I mean, that's confidential data. If I had that, if I was somehow, the CEO dropped me a text message on the down low, I mean, ultimately that's insider trading. I mean, you cannot do that. So don't play the guessing games. Wait to see how the market reacts. Because at the end of the day, the market's always right. Okay, whether you're, and that's a term you may have heard or may not have heard, but doesn't matter if your stock goes up or down. The market is always right. The market, the combination of buyers and sellers determine what's going to happen to the price of that stock. You're going to line up as many factors in your favor as you can. You're going to check all your boxes. You're going to make your trade plan. You're going to set your stop. You're going to set your goal, but the market determines. That's why we have stop losses. So you wait for that reaction of the earnings. You can see earnings came out yesterday morning. Stock was at 87. Opened the day at 91. We were looking for that dip and rip style. Check out the ebook. We'll link it below. I talk about that dip and rip chart pattern. You see this rip through the pre-market highs at 92, went as high as 100, held the gains through the day. It's currently green today by a little bit, but we're uptrending and probably continues to move higher. So that's what we're looking for. Don't play guessing games. Look for solid earnings, good growth on the top line and the bottom line. When I say top line, that's your sales. Bottom line is your earnings per share. And then look for the story and then set your plan, execute, and be ready every single earnings season. I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to trade 10 times a day every day. If you're new, I don't think that's the key to success. When you're new, the key to success, the key to consistency is trading less on the most high probability setups, okay? And it ultimately, earnings season is 4 to 6 weeks long, 4 times a year. I mean, it's basically half the year, ultimately. I mean, you're talking 20 to 25 weeks-ish. I mean, it's half the year. Most of you are probably part-time. You got jobs, you got school. Focus on other things, family. Focus on the stuff you have to take care of so that during earnings season, you can be locked in, dialed in, focused, and that's the best way to grow your account. All right, that being said, if you're looking to really master these earnings winners, if you're looking to break them down live, I mean, again, yesterday morning, live in a 45-minute webinar, we talked about what the setup was on DKS, why we cared, why it was in play, and entries and exits. So check out the Steady Trade team live twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, every single trading day. It's the best way to learn trading, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.